In this video, we're going to take a look at Section 4, Part 2. Section 4 is about solving inequalities. Last time, we already looked at some inequalities by using a graph. Two graphs, indeed. We plotted them in one coordinate system, and then we tried to solve this inequality by just looking at our plotted graphs. When we did this, the point of intersection is still really important, because when we need to solve an inequality, the point of intersection is always important, because the only solution to an inequality is everything left of the point of intersection is correct, or we need all the x's right from the point of intersection. And we just need to find out. But the point of intersection still plays an important part. It's also called the break-even point. And this is a term that's really used in all kind of money matters. But you could say they are equal over there, so they break even. Well, we also did solve an inequality by just filling in some values for x. And we just looked at the solutions, if they were correct or not. Let me show you some of those solutions we found over here. Well, we were just filling in values of x on the left and also on the right, and then we just looked at the inequality and well, not everything we found was correct. For example, minus 15 is not greater than 5. So we did find a lot of solutions that were not correct. All those ones were not correct. We did also find some correct solutions, those two. This one is also not correct, but it's a special one. 13 is not greater than 13, it's equal to 13. So this is a really important one. And this is again the point of intersection, or you could say the break-even point, because 13 is equal to 13. And what did we see? Or what can you see when you solve an inequation? The break-even point, or the point of intersection, is really important. If you do find this point, there are only still two solutions possible. Or we do need all the x's less than 2, or we just need all the x values greater than 2. And you can find this out by just filling in some values for x. But well, when we always need to solve an equation like this, it can be a lot of work. So I'm going to teach you a method how you can solve an inequality. And this method is also in your book on page 79. I will use exactly the same steps. I'll first talk to you about those steps, and then we're going to look at an example. Step 1. Make an equation that corresponds to the inequality. In step 2, we solve the equation. This is a really good step, because then you do know the point of intersection or break-even point. Step 3 is the most difficult one. We fill in numbers greater than and less than the solution, and we fill this in the inequality. We show these solutions on a number line. I'll indicate on a number line for what numbers the inequality is correct. When we've done those 3 steps, the last step is we write down the solution to the inequality. Well, let us look at an example. Over here is the inequality, and you can recognize him because over here is the less than symbol. Yes? So we do need to find the break-even point, or the point of intersection. And to do this, we're not going to look when the left side is less than the right side. We're going to look at when are they equal. So the only thing you need to do in step 1 is to remove this less than symbol and replace it with an equal symbol. So we're going to just look for the break-even point. When are they equal, the left and the right side. For which value of x are they equal? So, well, we can solve this. We will use the balance method. So let us do this. And that's what you do in step 2. You solve the equation, because now it's an equation. Well, I would like to get started with this 2x. And I want it removed, so we do minus 2x. And we do this both on the left and on the right side. When I do this, on the left side there will be 2x plus 3, and on the right side we will find minus 9. So all the variables are on the left side, so the next step is to remove the plus 3. And you can do this by doing the opposite, and that's minus 3. On the left side we only have 2x left, and on the right side minus 9 minus 3, be aware of all these minuses, you will find minus 12. So now we have 2 times x, and I really would like to know the value of x. So times 2, the opposite is dividing by 2. So that's what I'm going to do to find the value of x. And then we write down minus 12 divided by 2. And my break-even point is that x is minus 6. Yes? So when x is minus 6, the left side and the right side are equal. But our next step is to find out, do we need to have bigger numbers than minus 6 or just smaller numbers than minus 6? Will the values of x be less than 6 or greater than 6? That's what we're going to find out. Well, if we want to find this out, we first draw a little number line. It's just a little one is enough. The solution to your equation is in the middle. So minus 6 is over here. Let me remind you, on a number line, when you go to the right, numbers get bigger. So over here, there should be minus 5 and then minus 4. When we go to the left, the numbers become less. So this has to be minus 7 and minus 8. So, well, the minus 6, that's a really special number in this exercise. That's the break-even point. The left and the right side are equal. So I put this symbol, the equal symbol, above the minus 6. So there are just only 2 possible solutions. All the x values need to be less than minus 6 or greater than minus 6. And I really need to find out. Well, to find out this, to solve this, I'm going to fill in 2 values of x. One is greater than minus 6 and the other one is less than minus 6. And I've chosen minus 5 and minus 7, but you can also use minus 8, minus 4. So you have a lot of options. So when you always show what numbers you're going to use. So make sure you write it down in a proper way, like this. I'm going to fill in x is minus 5. But now, it's really important, we fill this in, not in our equation, but we fill this in the inequality. So we use this. This is what we're going to use. How we did before. So I'm going to fill it in on the left side. 4 times minus 5 plus 3. You don't need to write down the calculation, but you do need to write down the solution. 4 times minus 5 is minus 20. Minus 20 plus 3 is minus 17. So when I fill in for x the value minus 5, the left side will be minus 17. I'm going to do the same on the right side, and I copy the less than symbol. I just copy it from here. Well, let us fill in minus 5 on the right side. 2 times minus 5, that's minus 10. Minus 10 minus 9 will be minus 19. So then I can see if this is correct or not. Is minus 17 less than minus 19? And this is not correct. So on my number line, I look for x is -5, and this was not correct. The n, we used the n for not correct. So in fact, we already do know the solution by now. If it's not greater than -6, it will be less than -6. That's the only possibility that's left. But check it. So fill in for x the value -7. So first on the left side, 4 times -7 plus 3. You calculate this and you write down the solution. The solution is -25. Then you copy the less than symbol. And then you fill in -7 on the right side. 2 times -7 -9. You calculate this, and on the right side you will find -23. Now just look at what's over here. -25 is less than -23. And this is really correct. So this is correct. So on my number line I used C for correct. So now you can see what the solution is. All the x values to the left of -6 are correct. And be aware, to the left on your number line is less than. It becomes less, less, less. And to the right side it becomes greater. So, how do you write down the solution? You always look at who are we talking about. We're talking about the variable x. So x should be something. And x, in this example, should be less than -6. So you really need to know those symbols. So we write down x is less than -6. That's the solution to this inequality. Yes? So I've shown you all the steps. To learn this, you really need to practice. So good luck with your exercises.